Hey all you cool cats and kittens. I know everybody's concerned about the cats at the sanctuary, so Victor and Jamie are driving me to the sanctuary. I couldn't come in Howie's car because the water in Rocky Creek has come up and surrounded our house. There was a high ridge of land between Jamie and I that I was able to take most of the way to her house, and then the last few feet I had to go slogging through the creek that I know has that gigantic alligator in it. I walked really fast and dragged a plant behind me in case the alligator wanted to go after something smaller first. Jamie says that Rocky Creek's reporting 2 feet elevation. That 2 feet elevation has brought it within about 15 feet of my front door and about 6 feet of the pool door. And if it goes to 7 feet, I think we're for sure both going to have water in our houses. Wanted to bring Jamie and the cats, but he's insisted on riding it out. I'm sorry, that's how nervous I am. I wanted to bring Howie and the cats, but he's insisting on riding it out. And it's not like super windy or anything that I think would cause the house to collapse. So he says he and they can both get up on something high if they need to. I took out the lower drawers of the file cabinets to make sure those are safe, but I didn't put up sandbags because I thought with it being low tide at 8 o'clock, we were going to be fine and it would be carrying this water out.
We figured the sandbag thing probably isn't going to make that much of a difference because our houses are wood. So it'll just seep up through the walls.
Great.
So
then there's that. But I have those great doors you guys just installed. Those should be like waterproof. Really should have made the whole house walls. What'd you forget, Victor?
Nothing. I was just looking for all my things.
Getting prepared. So we're driving to the sanctuary. It's usually about a 15-minute drive. It should be that or less this morning. Oh, there go the police. Don't speed, Victor. It should be that or less because there shouldn't be a whole lot of people on the road. Deb, I did have my coffee. I had coffee and half of a muffin. Did you guys get to eat anything this morning, Jamie?
a little bit.
So tell me what the update is at the sanctuary. Who have you got coming in? What are they going to do? Hang on a second. Let me turn this around where I can see you better.
Apparently it's just going to be us for now. So we'll do the checks and everything. And then once we're done, everybody can come in when they get there.
So just us.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, the sanctuary is probably higher than this flood surge. They're saying 4 to 7 feet. Our house, well, my house is about 10 feet above water. How high is yours above water? Do you know?
I know it's at like 3 or 4 feet above yours.
Well, that's good. And then tell them about your dock.
Well, we're pretty high our banks are pretty high on the river or on the creek, and we have a floating pontoon dock. I don't think the light's going to change ever. I think it's broken.
Like nobody can leave.
We have
Stay off the road.
Floating pontoon dock that has a very steep ramp down to it, and that is floating above the height of the bank at this moment right now. So it's normally, I would say, like 3 feet lower than the bank, Victor?
Oh,
3 or 4?
Because that's a
The
hike down.
dock.
It's at least like 3 or 4, if not 5.
So I don't understand how the river's risen 2 feet, but everything is 4 or 5 feet higher than it usually is.
I wonder if maybe it's where they're measuring it.
Could be.
Yeah,
I think they measure
how's that look
here.
out there? They measure there.
Retention pond.
Oh,
Oh, it's just under the road.
so that's Rocky Creek too, and Jamie said it was just under the road. Sorry, I couldn't hit the button fast enough to show you guys that.
Stop sign going crazy.
Oh, that's a very Florida hurricane kind of a icon. Can we go take a picture of the flopping stop sign? Some kind of emergency vehicle stuck in the road ahead of us here.
I think it's just the lights aren't working.
Yeah, I think that's right.
There's the bridge I cross all the time. You can see the canals are up high.
It's taking 5 miles an this is not as bad as an afternoon thunderstorm. Let's go. We'll basically just do a check of all the big cats first and check in their enclosures and their enclosures aren't damaged, and then we'll go back around and look for small cats. We didn't have really bad winds, but we had 25 to 30 mile an hour winds for like 8 hours or so.
There is going to be leaf litter everywhere.
So since we were so dry from lack of rain this year, the ground's really dry, but now the trees are soaked with rain and heavy, so there's a risk of them just coming out of the ground and falling over. Also, we didn't do any tree trimming this year like we always do because we're short-handed.
And we thought our cats would be gone by now.
So anything that normally would fall in a storm, we take care of before storm season, and that didn't happen this year, so everything that we normally would have cut is probably down at this point.
Did you guys set up pumps?
No. We just deal with the areas as they come, but I don't think they'll even be flooding because it hasn't been torrential rain, it's just been consistent.
Yeah, I woke up a lot last night, and every time I woke up, it was like, if it was raining at all, it was just that fine mist like it's doing right now.
There's 2 stop signs for you. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, look, stop signs. It really makes it look windy, even though it's not. How is it doing that?
Well, and that's crazy because we shouldn't even see those stop signs from this angle.
Yeah. The pine
That's
trees
gonna
are pretty moving.
Cause
pretty
an
big.
accident. Does anybody know if the cameras are working out at Big Cat Rescue?
Some are, some aren't.
Has anybody been checking I'm not talking to you guys unless you were. Has anybody been checking those cameras to see what the conditions are for the cats? I did not do that.
I did not.
I know Christine's always got her eye on the cameras at night. Thank you, Christine. And if it had been an emergency, she would have contacted Deb, who would have contacted me and Jamie. So I feel secure knowing that there's somebody on the other side of the world who is awake during the times that we're asleep, is keeping an eye on everything.
I'm like hearing any of my text messages.
You gotta turn your phone on.
It isn't. And my watch isn't on silent.
That's usually what's keeping me from hearing messages, is my proclivity to put my hand over my watch, which turns off all of the sounds. I'm really liking how dry these streets are.
Yeah, the test will be better view.
The Tesla what?
The test will be metal view.
Yes. I brought the Tesla, I thought you said Tesla, I brought the Tesla over to the sanctuary yesterday because the whole bottom end of it's a battery and it's not driving anywhere in the kind of flooding that we usually get in our neighborhood and as soon as we turn here on Meadowview. Do we want to go in the Meadowview again?
Yes. That front gate's down a huge hill from the hotel, so it's even more likely to get flooded. Because of all the development around it, this looks fine.
This looks surprisingly fine. This is great. Jamie had made all kinds of plans for people to stay at Deb's house and in the party house and the gift shop and efficiency and everything else throughout the night, but it was such a non-event. Everybody went home.
I think that we're going to get the most damage out of anybody just at home.
At our houses, yeah.
So as soon as we do these checks and everything, I think we'll head back.
And do what? Just sit there. I'm sorry.
Start
I didn't mean to hit
start
you.
raising things up off the ground in the shop.
Yeah, try to save what we can.
There's a lot of equipment, tools and stuff. I was surprised at the lack of urgency, even before the storm kind of turned. It wasn't crazy at Lowe's. People weren't buying every single thing to put over their windows like normal. We barely had anybody do storm prep in our neighborhood.
I think it was because it was just like everybody's looking around and saying, this is nothing. We get more rain than this any given afternoon. It's that surge that's the real danger, I guess. Yeah. Why are all these cars here?
These are all our cars.
Yeah.
The intern cars, your car, my car.
I think this is the safest area to park a car during something like this because it's a high part of the property and you don't want to be under a tree or under a canopy that could fall on your car. And I kept watching the news yesterday, like everywhere that the hurricane passed, when it went past Key West, and they had like a foot of water down there at that southernmost point. And I'm like, well, that's not a big deal. That's not a problem. And then, you know, Fort Myers, they're like, look at this. The beach came all the way up to the road. And it's like, well, yeah, because that's like 6 inches difference there. You had all these hurricane guys that were standing around between here and South Carolina, and there's like no rain, no wind, and they're all trying to act like it's a huge emergency. You want to explain the policy and what we're doing?
We need to go to the party house first. We are loading up with dart guns and rifles, and we'll go around doing a check of all the big cats in their cages before anybody else goes on property this morning. We have emergency protocols, and Justin's on standby. We need to dart something.
Do you need help carrying? As you can see, they've prepared both the generator and all the gas cans and the pole saw, because anytime you have a hurricane, you've always got branches that fall in very inconvenient places. You can see the rain coming down back there. So anybody that knows my husband Howard, please send him your love. He's on Facebook, and he hardly knows how to use Facebook, but I think he will find it encouraging to know that there are people thinking about him. All of last evening, I didn't have my allergy medicine. I may not be able to talk through a whole life. Oh, there goes a fox. Well, now we know where it shelters in a storm. Great. Have to set that humane trap again. We don't want that guy going after the kittens or harassing our cats for their food. Roommate totally. Oh, so Howie is like a professional friend, and he has so many people that were contacting him and saying, be safe, we love you, we're thinking about you. Vultures around. So if you know him, he's Howard Baskin on Facebook, and just drop him a little message saying that you're thinking about him. Same goes for our keepers. They'll be heading in as soon as we do our initial check to make sure that there's nobody dangerous running loose, and then they will all come in to help us look for little cats and make sure that all the cages are secure. It's going to be a hard day. I mean, a really hard day. So if you don't get a message back from anybody, please don't be offended. It's because we're clearing out ditches or cutting up branches or putting out fires, that sort of thing. We're very thankful that Hurricane Idalia was not any worse than it was. We didn't see any flooding other than at our personal homes so far. And high tide, or low tide rather, is at 8 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock I got up, went out, and I saw that the water was not coming up. So I was like, all right, that's good, because high tide was at 4 a.m. And I figured if we didn't have water out of the banks before that, then we were probably good. It was really hard to see outside because I do have lights all right around the house, but they don't extend out over the creek because I don't usually have a reason to be looking out over the creek at my neighbors. So it was a little startling this morning when I could start to focus my eyes on the low light and how much water was up around the house. We have a humongous alligator in Rocky Creek that Jamie and I had not seen for years. She calls him Dozer. I don't know if that's because the neighborhood calls him Dozer. Everybody knows this alligator. And so we assumed he had been killed because he was freaking scary. I mean, like 10 or 12 feet. Gigantic thing. And then, just a few days ago, I saw him swimming by my house. And then out in the canal, I saw the canals a lot of times we're on a Rocky Creek is tidal, so as the tides go in and out, that's why I keep talking about the tide. When the tides go out, sometimes it leaves the canals completely dry, and they're still like muck. If you step down into them, you'll sink up to your shins. And apparently the alligator got into it with something and really tore up the bed of the canal right alongside my driveway, which really freaked me out. So knowing he's there has just scared me half to death about going into the water. I know there's littler ones out there, but that guy, man. Thankfully, we don't have alligators here in Tiger Lake. Our entire property here is fenced off, and even the underwater piping that goes out to Rocky Creek has a grate over it, so alligators can't get through it. Don't point that in my face.
On this side?
Oh, she's got it pointed the other way. Do you want me to hold it?
Just walk over that gate and walk in.
We'll get there ahead of you.
Maybe. He's a fast walker.
I don't know. You're a fast driver. Did you get much sleep last night?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
It's always harrowing.
It's waking up every time the wind blows. For some reason I thought it was a tornado every single time.
You'll know when it's a tornado. It sounds like a train. It doesn't sound like the wind blowing. Is there anybody in vacation rotation?
No. And I was trying to mow that yesterday before the storm so it could actually be mowed before it began to swamp.
And were you successful?
65%. 65%.
The Tiger Lake or the vacation rotation lake is up. The reason there's nobody in there, in addition to Victor needing to mow out there, is that we've had surveyors that needed to count and measure trees and dig holes all over the place looking for any kind of artifacts. They've been looking for endangered species and all that kind of stuff, and that's 2.5 acres of our land. So we moved Kimba out because nobody was going to do that with Kimba in there. And when they get through with all their testing and everything, then we can go back to putting cats in for their vacations. All right, I'm going to do some shout outs here. Hey, Joyce and Henriette and Lisa and Taylor, Deb, Nadine, Darbad, Christina, Susan, Tammy, Marcy. Marcy, thank you for the donation. It's on my desk. I just haven't sent you a thank you yet. And Meeks, Becky, Fricky, Generoso, Sandy, Katrina. That's a word we don't want to say in Florida. Katrina was one of our worst hurricanes. Prakash, Vicky, Tammy, Nancy, Petra, Pat, Katrina, Patricia. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning.
Start with Aria.
So the good thing is it's morning and they're thinking breakfast. Yeah. This is Aria's enclosure that we're passing right now. I found that she even likes this little teeny tiny Maya den. Do you want me to run back and look inside there?
No. I don't want the chocolate again. No damage.
Jamie is safety conscious. Won't let me out of the truck.
We try this then too when we go up around it, but also just make sure there's no obvious damage to the cage.
Aria! Where's the good tiger? Where's that good girl? All the cats who have open air cages like this are shut into their roofed areas.
You see her on the other side of that big den anywhere?
I do not. Can't tell what I'm seeing.
Cage, so just keep moving on to the next one.
Well, that's a good point. Unless she floated out, she's not going to be out of that one because it's all in good shape. You'd think the curiosity alone would make them get up and see why there's a truck coming through here. This is Simba's cage, Simba Tiger. But it looks good. I don't see any trees down on it, which is nice. Does he have all of these?
Waiting patiently for his breakfast with his paws.
He's licking his lips.
I can't see you.
I'm looking.
So Jamie's trying to get a glimpse of Max or Kimba, and all these cages over here are still Simba's enclosures, so making sure there aren't any holes in either.
I know palm fronds.
Yeah, I was trying to see.
This section. You want me to go slower or watch your head?
Good. Oh, he's right on the other side of the den here. That's the only one I was worried about, so pretty much we can go home now. Hi, baby.
I see you stalking us.
He likes the
The
truck.
truck.
Yeah. It's a truck or a tractor or a bobcat or a lawnmower. He's okay.
But it's kind of like you're on safari. If you get out of the vehicle, then you're not part of it, and he doesn't like you.
Okay. Good morning.
Oh, you're being so sneaky. I don't like that look on your face.
That's the first thunder I've heard.
He looks small to me right now. Maybe
Like
because we're
skinny?
higher.
Oh.
Higher up.
You went out in a golf cart. He likes the truck.
He does. He's okay. Let's keep it
I hope this is our last in our series of hurricane videos.
Yeah. We'll just go back down that road to see if we see the rest of Max's cages or Max.
All right, everybody, help me look for Max. Not in that den. Not in den number 2. He's got 6. And his favorite one is that really hard to see in one back there.
It's not
Okay, so he's in the hardest den possible to see. We're going to turn around and see if we can get a different angle on that den. But I don't see any trees down or breaches in the cage.
Yeah, that's right here. Is that your foot? Sorry.
That was my fault.
I'm trying to grab a foot. So there's a
Did you
spotlight in
took it inside?
Yep, there's a different
You need a
spotlight in
flashlight?
there. No,
This
there's
is my flashlight.
a spotlight. A big yellow spotlight.
Oh. Between my feet. Man, that's a honking big spotlight. Oh, you don't burn the retinas right out of their eyes. Holy cats, I want one of those for my house. I could have seen the creek with that.
All the alligators in there.
Oh. I want to see the alligators, all their little eyes shining back at me.
And that one clump of grass in there.
Yeah,
you'd be able to
right.
see in there. Max!
Put that on the maintenance chart.
Woo!
Who's hungry?
It's open if I spotted it and if you would get
Curious.
Max!
This is the best angle for you?
We could try the front and see if he poked his head out.
His head usually is at the other end. That's where he gets snacks.
Woo!
See the tail?
It just looks like striped with all the grass.
Try the front.
Might even be from like over by the solar panels.
Yeah.
Maybe get rid of some pages.
There he is. I see an
I see
eyeball.
an ear.
I got a reflection.
Apparently the internet's having a hard time. It's going in and out.
I had really bad internet here yesterday before it was even stormy.
Which reminds me, I wonder if I'm on the internet. I must be on the internet. Can you say that again? I was switching.
We're gonna go back and see if we can see Aria again, and then we'll let Afton in the front, and then we'll start double checking small cats.
Okay. This lake doesn't seem very high.
That helps.
It's prettier than usual.
Pretty much in a drought. Water just drops so much.
Does that light not turn off
What?
in there?
I don't know.
Is there supposed to be a light on in there?
No.
I wasn't on Wi-Fi, so it must be my cell service that's coming and going. If the Tesla were at the house, I could turn on all of its cameras. It can see in every direction.
Aria!
miss breakfast. We gotta see your face or breakfast won't come. Have the gun ready to dart Jamie. Don't want her to feel anything.
Aria.
Oh, Aria's found in her den, nice and dry, all chuffy. Do we have any help out there, or is it just Afton?
Adam would come in the back gate and start checking servals. Come in the front gate and start checking small cats up front. We'll start near Funcation.
So we're checking servals?
No, Emma. She'll
Oh.
come in the street.
Did you bring any towels?
No.
I got it all wet back here.
You got a back brace. That help?
It's the car that's wet, not me. When you guys went in the party house earlier, the fox came running out from under the party house. And it's a big fox.
Where are you going?
I want to open this all the way so he's not having to squeak.
We're keeping them contained. Stop opening things.
I'm really bad at this. So you just open that so Emma can come in?
Yeah.
How's he going to turn this thing around? Tried to make it easy for you, Victor.
Make sure
She says safety first.
barn gate behind her until we check all small cats. Alright.
This is why Jamie's in charge. Drag my crazy mother along with me everywhere I go.
We're like, if there's a small cat loose, I'd rather keep it contained in half the property.
I'm with you.
I don't really want to have all 67 acres.
We're going to, yeah. Now we're going to Funcation.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to rain for long in these bands, though.
Yeah.
Could you text Howie and let him know that we have boats that we can move him with if we need to, so he's not worried? Or we could just float your dock back there.
Could do that.
If it's still hauling in there by the time we get back.
What is it moored to?
It's tied to the bank, but if it gets higher than those ties, then it's not tied to anything.
Oh, great. Whoa. Did that wash out?
Huh?
Was that a washout?
Back there?
Yeah.
No, there's some rain.
Oh.
The back door isn't working. It's dead.
What about the front door?
It's fine up there.
The street?
Yeah.
I was really nervous about our neighbor paving their whole yard.
Well, they did a bad job of it, so it's got a big pit in the middle of this.
swimming
with
pool.
water. So, jokes on that one again.
Looking for the Flint and Biscuit.
There's Bobcat.
Oh, a wet bobcat. They're the grossest.
They don't mind being wet though.
I hear them.
There's Nabisco on the platform there.
Lighten up some. So, do you want to start go down this side of Fun Can't see anybody, and then start like Moses Bailey, that road
Okay.
to Frankie? Would be the last one on that side.
Hang on, everybody. I'm going to put on my coat. It doesn't keep me dry anyway, but.
And what do I do from Max Marianne to Chaos? And try to see what.
Can I have that blue flashlight so I can see eyes? No, the one I had. My big spotlight. You guys have enough lights?
Yeah.
All right. You want me down Chaos?
Funcation to Frankie. We'll try to see who's in Funcation. But just this side of Funcation, Victor, you're
All right. So Victor's going to do the side over there that has Max, Marianne, Flint, and Nabisco. I'm going to do this area that is Funcation. Somebody remind me who is on Funcation. And then I'll check on Moses, Bailey, Shiloh. Is there anybody in this den? God, this flashlight sucks. This is the one from my house. You hear Jamie talking to somebody. Whoop, there's the cat. Hello. Is that Mr. Hutch? Is that Hutch on vacation? Thank you, Kylie. Yes, there's Hutch. Good morning. Good morning. All right, we'll look for Moses and Bailey now. And the Funcation looks pretty secure. I need to go look at the back end of it. But if there were a hole, the cats would have found it. Because they are always looking for a hole. Even though they get regular meals and great vet care and lots of love. Hi. Hello, my sweetheart. Oh, there's my Moses. That's my good boy. Yeah, anybody in there with you? Just you? All right. Sorry, I don't have any food. His cage looks good. Well, that part of it anyway. Ah! Try to get my camera dry. Sorry, guys. Oh, gosh. Hi, Bailey. Oh, man.